Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you, as an American professional, can make a strategic career move to Europe. The continent is really opening its doors right now, but making it happen requires a smart approach. So, we're going to give you the framework to turn that ambition into a reality.
So, why is this opportunity so massive? Well, it all starts with this one kind of staggering number. Europe is facing this huge structural challenge, a projected shortage of 1 million workers every single year. This isn't just some temporary dip, you see. It's a long-term demographic shift that's creating a massive talent gap that frankly needs to be filled. All right, here's how we're gonna tackle this. First, we'll look at the talent gap itself, then weigh that classic trade-off, salary versus lifestyle. After that, we'll pinpoint the industries in high demand, get into the nitty-gritty of paperwork and visas, talk about adapting your interview style, and then wrap it all up with the key takeaways. Okay, first up, let's really get our heads around the scale of this opportunity. This isn't just a few companies hiring here and there. We're talking about entire nations that are actively re-engineering their immigration policies to deal with a major labor deficit. It's all being driven by aging populations and, of course, the huge shift to digital and green economies. And just look at the sheer breadth of this need. We're not talking about a handful of super niche roles. The Netherlands officially lists 194 different occupations with labor shortages. Norway and Belgium, they're right behind with nearly 200 each. This just goes to show how widespread and, well, diverse the demand for talent really is all across the continent. But, and this is a big but, this opportunity comes with a fundamental trade-off that you absolutely need to understand before you even think about applying. It's that classic debate, right? Salary versus lifestyle. So on the surface, US salaries often look, maybe 20 to 40% higher. But that is only part of the story. While the base salary might be lower in Europe, the legally required vacation time is dramatically higher. We're talking double, sometimes even triple the US average. So you're not really being paid less, you're just being compensated differently, with time. And this whole philosophy, it goes way beyond just vacation days. It really reflects a deeper cultural focus on work-life balance. Once you factor in benefits like universal healthcare, subsidized education, and honestly a lower cost of living in many cities, that initial salary gap starts to look really, really different. The focus just shifts from pure financial gain to your total quality of life. Look, your success really hinges on being strategic about this. You can't just apply for any old job. You have to align your specific skills with Europe's most urgent needs. So let's dive into the official data and see where the demand is actually greatest. This table, this is basically your cheat sheet. It shows the jobs that have shortages in the most European countries. And just notice the mix here. It's everything from skilled trades like welders and bricklayers to essential services like truck drivers and nurses, right alongside, of course, the constant demand for software developers. Now we can get even more targeted, because it's not just about what you do, but where you do it. If you're in tech, you should be looking at hubs like Germany, the Netherlands, and Ireland. Healthcare pros, you're in critical demand in Germany and Austria. And for those with language skills, countries like Spain, Greece, and Portugal have these booming service sectors. Targeting these specific hotspots can often lead you right to a fast-track visa program. Okay, now for the part that, well, let's be honest, feels the most daunting, the bureaucracy. Navigating visas and getting your US qualifications recognized can seem totally overwhelming, but it's a process that can absolutely be broken down into manageable steps. So let's just walk through it. Your very first step, before you do anything else, is to figure this out. Is your job a regulated profession? This is a critical distinction. If you're a nurse, a doctor, an architect, basically any field that needs a license to protect public safety, you're going to have a formal recognition process to go through. If not, your path is a whole lot more straightforward. So, for those of you in those regulated fields, the process generally looks something like this. First, you'll use the EU's central database to confirm your profession status in the country you're targeting. Second, you apply directly to that country's specific regulatory body, like, say, the nursing board in Ireland. And third, be ready to provide certified and often professionally translated copies of all your degrees, transcripts, and licenses. It takes time, so you're going to want to start early. And just a quick word of warning here, while a lot of countries are opening up, some are actually tightening their rules. The UK is a perfect example. As of mid-2025, the minimum salary required for their skilled worker visa has jumped up significantly to over £44,000. That's a pretty clear signal that they're targeting more senior, high-earning professionals. The lesson? Always check the very latest rules for your target country. So, once you've picked a target country and a role, please don't just send over your American resume and hope for the best. You really need to adapt your entire application strategy if you want to win that European interview. First things first, your standard one-page American resume needs a complete overhaul. The European CV, or curriculum vitae, is often longer and it includes personal details that are basically forbidden on a US resume. Things like your date of birth, your nationality, and sometimes even a professional headshot. Tailoring your CV to that specific country's norm is absolutely non-negotiable.
And the differences go way beyond just the CV. You've got to be prepared for some very different contractual norms. You know that American standard of a 2-week notice? It's pretty much non-existent in Europe. Contracts there legally mandate notice periods of 1 to even 6 months. That is a major cultural and, frankly, logistical difference to be aware of during the whole hiring process.
So, let's bring this all together, shall we? Here is the strategic framework that will turn that dream of a transatlantic career move into a tangible, achievable plan. Here are the 4 crucial takeaways. First, leverage Europe's massive talent gap. That is your biggest advantage, your entry point. Second, reframe how you think about compensation. Remember, it's a lifestyle package, not just a salary. Third, be a sniper, not a shotgun. Target those official shortage lists. And finally, you have to adapt everything, your CV, your interview style, and your cultural approach. And all of this leaves us with a final, kind of provocative thought. As professionals become more mobile and borders become more porous for skilled talent, what will truly define our careers in the 21st century? Is it the passport we hold, or is it the skills we possess? It's definitely something to think about.